The Consulting Success podcast is powered by the Clarity Coaching Program. If you'd like to work directly with the Consulting Success team and receive personal coaching and support to optimize and grow your consulting business, marketing, and revenue, visit consultingsuccess.com to find out more and apply.
Welcome to the Consulting Success Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Zipursky. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into the world of elite consultants, where you'll learn the strategies, tactics, and mindset to grow a highly profitable and successful consulting business. Hey, it's Michael Zipursky, and I want to share with you how you can optimize your business model to start seeing results significantly faster. I was speaking with a new client today in our Clarity Coaching Program, and I asked them, what does success really look like for them? Where do they want to be, not just in a few months from now, but in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now? What is that ideal situation and kind of scenario? And what is their vision for success? What does that future vision for them really look like? And they shared with me what they truly wanted to create. They talked about how they wanted to have more income that was passive, how they wanted to have more elements of their business productized, how they wanted to travel less so they could be with their family more. All these things that resonate with many of the consultants that we work with. But what was interesting is they said, I have short-term and I have long-term goals. Short-term, I'm thinking I need to do this. Long-term, this is where I want to be. And so in that conversation, what became kind of, very clear to me is that they didn't need to wait to actually start making great strides and progress to achieve the results that they thought were the future vision. That they could start taking actions today that would actually move them significantly closer to the future vision that they have. And I thought I would share this with you because you may as well right now be thinking about where you want to be in the future, but not actually taking the right actions to get you there now. What I mean is you may be taking a longer route. You may be taking and using a whole bunch of steps or methods or processes that you may feel are getting you to where you want, but they're not as direct as they could be. And so there may be a much more direct path that you could use to get to where you want to actually end up, rather than having to do, kind of short-term placeholder actions. So the way to think about that really is, and the way I'll kind of, introduce it as in terms of an observation that I've had over the last 20 years or so of building multiple businesses in different industries, is that when you focus on something, you tend to attract it. And so if, let's say, you decide, in the short term, I'm going to work with clients on an hourly basis, and I just want to kind of get experience with that. I'm going to take business wherever it comes from. I'll do, different kinds of projects. But my real long-term goal is to have more passive income, to productize, to develop intellectual property, to not travel as much. But in the short term, I'm okay doing those things. Well, what does that tell your mind? What does that signal to, the environment around you and to everyone that you meet? Really a mess, right? It's not clear. But most often what will happen is you'll end up attracting what you focus on. So if you've decided in the short term, I'm going to focus on, bringing in clients, doing in-person work, working on an hourly basis, so on, and just change what I'm sharing with you here to what you're currently telling yourself or what you're currently doing, what's going to then most likely happen is you're going to start to attract opportunities that match those criteria. But if you break that down and if you actually think about it, instead, if you got very clear about the future vision of what you really want and where you really want to be in the future, and you started to focus on that, and you started to take actions that are directly connected to that, then what will happen? Well, you'll start to attract more of that into your life now. And so with this new client, within one call, we got very clear about what they could be doing right now that would actually significantly move them ahead of schedule and actually start to get them the results they thought they might need to spend a year or 2 years before they could even reach. How they can start taking action today in order to move the needle forward, in order to actually get closer to that future state a lot sooner than they expected. And so let me break down and offer you a few different principles or a few different kind of parts of this framework to help you to achieve this yourself. When you're thinking about where you want to be, when you're considering what your future vision is and what success truly looks like for you, once you've developed that clear vision, once you have that in mind, then the next thing that you want to do is think about who is the ideal client for that future, right? Who do you truly want to be working with? What do they look like? What's the criteria of that person? And when you do this exercise allow yourself to really open up wide. Don't hold yourself back. Don't constrict or constrain yourself by what you think the marketplace requires or what you've seen other people do. This is your opportunity. I mean, one of the true benefits of being in business is that you can build the business that you want. No one is going to tell you, and I mean, people might tell you what they believe you can and can't do, but you truly can accomplish anything that you want if you're focused, and committed to it. So get very clear about who is your ideal client. What does success look like for you? Now, once you are clear on who your ideal client is, then the next thing is to think about what is the offering that you want to provide to those people? What does it look like? How do you want to provide that? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be in person? Is it going to be one-to-many? Is it going to be one-to-one? Is it going to be productized? Is it going to be customized? Go through all the different aspects. What's the price point in order to generate kind of the cash flow and revenue and the profit that you desire for your lifestyle and for what's meaningful for you? And you consider all those different kind of elements. Then the result of that is that you'll be much clearer around what your offering should look like. Not just your offering where maybe you've been thinking to this point, but where you really want it to be in the future. Now, once you're clear on your offering, you're going to start to feel much more confident to actually get in front of ideal clients. But before you do that, you need to develop a message. You want to develop a message that will get the attention and interest of your ideal clients. You want to develop a message that will really resonate with them, that will be empathetic to their situation, that will tell that person, signal to them that you understand what they're going through, that you are an expert in helping and working with people like them. And then once you develop your message that essentially communicates who your ideal client is, what problem do you solve or help them to solve, what result can they see from getting your help, and then what makes you unique, right? Why you? Then you're going to have a message that will really truly get their attention and their interest, which will help you to create more conversations. And so now the final part of this process is to begin doing outreach. And outreach is really just a simple word. If we kind of go down to the foundations of it, it's about taking a step to get in front of an ideal client. And so I'm going to share with you 3 different ways to break this down, or 3 opportunities for you. The first is leverage your network. Look at all your connections, all the people that you know. This might be from a past employer. It might be a vendor. It might be a client, a past client, someone that you know, a family member, whatever it might be. You want to leverage that network. That's low-hanging fruit. Go to those people first and have a conversation. Now, in all of these, when you have a conversation, right, the goal is to talk about what their challenges are, what their situation is, tell them what you're doing, and then make an offer. And that offer might be an invitation to something that you're doing, a workshop, a webinar, some other piece of content. It might be just about an offer to actually work with them, a very direct offer and extending an invitation to how you might be able to support them. So we talk about your network, right, and connections. That's the low-hanging fruit. The next is to actually go direct. So you get clear on who your ideal clients are, and you start reaching out to them. You provide them with valuable information. You share with them things that they would likely find to be beneficial to them. And you do that over and over, right? You nurture them, you follow up with them until they are ready to say yes. But you've gone from unknown to becoming known, from invisible to visible. They now know who you are. And that helps you to build your brand. That helps you to gain recognition. And that also positions you over time to build a really thriving, successful, full pipeline. And then the third kind of segment here is leverage. And when I say leverage, really what I mean there are different types of publications. There's associations, there's professional groups, there's places and people that you can reach out to that by reaching out and building a relationship just with one person, it actually opens you up to get in front of many people. So take, for example, your industry professional group. You might connect with the executive director or with the head of marketing or whoever, it might be an editor there for their publication. And you build a relationship with them and you offer to do a webinar, to write an article, or to speak for their members. Well, through that one relationship, you now tap into a membership kind of directory or body of, could be hundreds of people, if not thousands or 10,000s of people. And so now you're using that leverage to get your message in front of many people, right? You're going one to many. And so that's what leverage is all about. Now, the key to all of this is, and the reason why outreach is so important is because the more conversations you have with people, the more you will actually learn what the marketplace wants. It's one thing to be sitting in your office and planning and thinking and strategizing about how to, be effective and be compelling, but it's a completely different thing to actually put that into the marketplace and see what truly resonates. What truly do people want? And the only way to know that is by putting it out there. The only way to know that is by having a conversation. And that's why it's so important that you gather data points, right? And data points, when I say that, really what I'm referring to is more data. If you think about it, every conversation that you have provides data. That data will tell you, is your offering something that people want? Or maybe it's not what they want. But if it's not what they want, then you get to find out what they do want. And so the more conversations that you have, right, the more interactions, the more outreach that you do, but ultimately the more conversations you have, the more that you will learn what people truly want. And that allows you then to adjust and to optimize so that you can then essentially offer people exactly what they want to buy. When you do that, the more conversations you have, you're going to, again, collect these data points, be able to optimize and to adjust so that you are making your offering better and better. You're improving your outcomes. And that is how you start to actually go from where you are to the future desired state where you want to be, but maybe you thought it would take you a lot longer to get there, but you can actually get there today. And I shouldn't say you get there today because that's not true. You're not going to necessarily get there today, but you're going to be starting making significant progress towards getting closer to that place starting today. And that's what's really important, is because you have the ability to truly move a lot faster and reach that desired outcome. As I talk to many successful consultants on the Consulting Success podcast here, or clients, colleagues, what I always see is that people, one of the kind of not regrets, but one of the things that people often say is, I wish I knew this before. I wish I could have figured that out sooner. Well, here you have an opportunity to very intentionally and with true commitment zoom from where you are to where you want to be by using this process. Get very clear about what does the future desired state look like. Then start getting, breaking down your ideal clients, your offer, your message. Start doing that outreach. Gather the data points. Then make better decisions, adjust, go back out and do more of that. That process, as you work through it, and that optimization will help you to really fine tune the approach and help you to actually start landing clients, projects, significantly growing revenue and profit and long-term prospects so you can make a great impact on those that you truly want to serve and to help. And that is the process that I recommend that you think about, and even better, that you implement. If you'd like to accelerate your results, just reach out and let us know. We'd be happy to help you. We work with consultants every day, helping them to really fine-tune and optimize their own consulting business model. We look at your specific situation, help you to get clear on where you want to go, and then break down the model step by step and coach you and support you through that process so that you can really accelerate your progress and your results with confidence. Just get in touch. We're here to help.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Success Podcast. For more episodes and to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, head on over to iTunes. And if you'd like to develop consistent lead flow and a highly profitable consulting business, learn more about our coaching programs at consultingsuccess.com.